project looking at C-Lab, there's an electrical component to it, but there's an atomic component to it. Like Che Wee's project on nerve trajectory, that's not really an electrical study, but it's a nerve study, and so I think we can expand, if everyone is interested, into some of these other areas.
Thank you, Greg, for your kind introduction and giving a chance to present the parotid gland in the nerve monitoring group study. And as you know, as there has been no reliable intraoperative method to identify the parotid gland, the default, the current solution has been based on visual inspection of the surgeon. Recently, McWade era reported the first real-time intraoperative autofluorescence imaging of parotid gland from human thyroid patients without using any contrast dye. I think this is an excellent study. However, it has a drawback that there is no information about surrounding tissue on the imaging. In other words, the parotid gland only visualized. So to improve this problem, we developed a new imaging system with the 780 nanometer near-infrared light to excite the parotid gland and infrared light to visualize the surrounding tissues simultaneously. So, and we took photos of emitted light from parotid gland with DSLR camera, and after turning off the head overhead and room light. Now I'd like to show you the feasibility of NIR and IR imaging for localization of parotid gland in human thyroid patients. And this was the first case of our study. Do you see any superior or inferior parotid gland around here? Very interestingly, the superior parotid and inferior parotid gland could be detected by near-infrared autofluorescence like this, and the surrounding tissue, surrounding background tissues were also clearly visualized by infrared light. In this next case, we could see the fatty connective tissue here, and blood vessel here, and inferior parotid gland here from NIR, IR images, which was exactly coincided with the surgical fields. And with our technique, a very superficially located inferior parotid gland could be identified in the early stage of the paratracheal dissection. And next is another very exciting case in which we could detect autofluorescence from parotid gland, even though they were covered by blood vessel or connective tissue. So with the guidance of this autofluorescence imaging, inferior parotid gland could be identified by ligating the blood vessels at inferior fluorescence area, and superior parotid gland could also be identified by dissecting this connective tissue like this at the superior fluorescence area. Our sensitivity and specificity of our imaging technique based on surgeon's confidence was 100% in 16 normal parotid glands, and this study was recently reported. And as a next step, we are now conducting the NIR-IR imaging assisted early parotid gland localization. It means before dissecting the parotid gland, we are trying to find it out. So in this case, just immediate after paratracheal exposure and before parotid dissection, we took NIR and IR images. Then the superior parotid gland and inferior parotid gland, which were still covered by fatty connective tissue, could be localized. And we could preserve the parotid glands with the guidance of NIR and IR imaging. And next is a clinical T3 N1B extensive case. And after lateral neck dissection, left paratracheal area was checked with NIR imaging. And we could find that inferior parotid, the autofluorescence from the paratracheal area, and inferior parotid gland could be clearly localized like this. And this is a metastatic lymph node just adjacent to the inferior parietal gland. And NIR could discriminate from the parietal gland from the metastatic lymph node like this. And this shows a blood vessel of preserved parietal gland. It's a very fine structure. We could get it. And we exposed upper paratracheal area like this. Do you see any superior parietal gland around here? We could localize the crescent-shaped compressed the superior parietal gland with NIR autofluorescence. And you see the NIR guided preserve the superior parietal gland and inferior parietal gland here. And we could get 91% of accuracy of early parietal gland. Early parietal gland localization means before it is exposed. And 98% of ultimate parietal gland localization with the NIR imaging test. In conclusion, we believe that this simple, real-time, non-exogenous dye technique can aid surgeons to preserve parietal glands during dialectomy. And my hope is in the future, we can monitor the parietal together with the recurrent longitudinal monitoring. Thank you for your attention.